Okay, so while Janice is signing in, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Tonight is February 3rd, 2025, Wakefield Commission on Disabilities. It's 7:03 p.m. Lois, do you have the flag?
Yeah.
Very good. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one
One thing under God,
God,
visible.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And there is Janice.
Apologies for my tardiness.
Not a problem. It takes time to sign in now. You have to type your name. Have to do a few things. Our mission is to address the needs and concerns of our disabled residents and provide their full participation in the activities and services of Wakefield. So Janice had just sent out the January meeting minutes. I'm not sure if everyone had a chance to review them, but if not, we can pull January out, but I would like to approve the minutes from the October and November meetings, if that works for everyone.
Do people don't have those yet, I don't think, Marie. Do they?
Hadn't you done those prior?
No, those I still have October, November to do. I did it backwards.
Okay, okay, all right, then let's just hold off. And for our March meeting, we will approve all outstanding minutes. Okay. Lois, I'm assuming no additional funding that you've seen come through?
Only, I think it was $1 or $2 or something like that.
I think it was the same as last month.
Okay. Okie dokie. I'm looking and I don't see anybody from the public on the call. So let's just then go right into Bill's update. I sent you all right prior to this meeting, and you may not have even seen it yet, an email that we had from Julie Scott in regard to the ACE building. And Bill, if you have any updates that you want to provide, that would be great. But otherwise, I'm going to ask folks, let's put it on the agenda for March so that everybody has a chance to read Julie's concerns and have an opportunity to discuss it then.
Sure. So I can give you just a quick update because actually in my update I had an ACE update. So
okay, great.
If you recall back in the fall, we had voted to use our capital ADA funds towards design of an elevator for the ACE building. So that contract has been awarded. My intent is to have that in time so that I can apply for a grant in the fall. So I'll have actual pricing and everything for that to work. I don't know if I had mentioned it the last one, but it's not as easy as just kind of slapping in a new, a new elevator. We have a ton of utility relocations that would need to happen, because the location where we want to put it is in the spiral staircase. If you folks have been in the ACE building, that's the corridor that we want to use. So we'll be kind of upgrading that whole entire column. Of course, that's in the basement. That's where all our utilities come in. So, so we have to obviously make that happen. One of the other things we've been looking at is access to the building itself. So if you recall way back, I had gave you an update, I want to say maybe beginning of last year. I was able to negotiate with the developer for the savings bank property to provide us with a widened and increased easement. So we have a potential for access to the first floor through the back. And then I'm also looking at an option to provide access through the front. Both of those require significant structural improvements and would be a sizable cost as well. So I was hoping to try to roll all of those improvements into some grant funding and then supplement with town funds as needed. But I should have some updates on all of that over the next few months. In addition to that, I am finalizing our transition plan. I've been talking about that for a while with you folks. Staff has given me their second iteration, which I've kicked back to them. So I should have hopefully a final document for you folks. I'd like to say for next meeting, but I'll be cautiously unoptimistic and say it'll be 2 months out. So at that point, I was thinking, if you folks had about a month or so to kind of look through. So you've looked at pieces of this already. So, we looked at the buildings as a whole, kind of looking at assessments of all of those. And then we also looked at, I had some areas that I developed for sidewalk enhancements and ramps and how I prioritize them and all of that. So that's all kind of what's included within it. We also have a new piece that we've added in on the town website to make that more accessible. So we've hired a consultant actually to work on that recently. So that is actually moving as I'm finalizing the transition plan. So our website will be much more enhanced, which is going to be great for folks. And aside from that, just fielding questions as they come in, which haven't been a ton. I mean, Judy, you had hit me up on some stuff about ramp plowing and whatnot and getting those cleared off. So I think you were going to get me a list of areas that you thought were high priorities so I can make sure the guys get at that. And I've talked to the director about it, so he knows it's coming.
So while we're on that, let me just mention what was on my mind.
Sure.
So I'm not really talking about a handicap site that would be in a parking lot. What I'm talking about are handicap sites that are along a sidewalk.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Same thing, curb ramps that are
Yes.
yeah, we call
So-
those curb ramps. Yep.
Right. So one of the things that I've been kind of struggling with myself, and I'm sure some other people are, is sometimes the sidewalks are plowed,
Yeah.
but the area where you would open your passenger side door, or if somebody has a wheelchair ramp on the passenger side that needs to come down,
Mhm.
that's not always cleared.
Okay.
So what I was kind of targeting there is whoever does the sidewalk plowing, if they could maybe just notice that maybe just a little bit wider area where the handicap parking spot meets that. Because anybody who's got a ramp or anybody who is on a walker, a cane, a wheelchair, even maybe somebody that just is a fall risk, it would be really nice if that area could just have a little extra. And then the curb cuts are another. It actually, one of the ones that I had personally struggled with happened to not be in this town. But
There you go. That's good.
It kind of reminded me to remind everybody that where the curb cuts are, so one of them, not in this town, that I came across, the snow was actually somehow piled up
On it.
where
Yeah.
the curb cut was.
Well, since you told me that, I've taken a little bit of a drive around on some sections, and I may or may not have noticed that. So, but our guys are aware of it now. So the way we did it in my old place, and it actually is in the transition plan too, was, we had a snow removal policy that talked about kind of when we would do it and how it worked, the priority areas first, all that type of stuff. So, I'll give that another once over, talk to the director too, and then make sure that he's hitting these things on the, based on, whatever we think is the kind of the higher priority. I was assuming downtown schools,
Yeah,
just the usual stuff, which is kind of what I've done with my, replacement plan, kind of follow that same thought process.
very good. Thank you for noticing that. And if anybody who's on the committee ever happens to come across one that's difficult, Bill, should we call the DPW? Should we alert you? What's our best course of action with that?
Well, if you call me, I'll definitely get back to you. I mean, they have a lot of calls that come in. So, if it's during the storm itself, in general, that's, they're trying to clear streets first, then they go sidewalks, and then it would be curb ramps. That'd kind of be the order of that they're doing it. But I'll talk to the director to see how he's planning on hitting them. And, I can report back next month. So we'll have this again, there is a section in the transition plan that talks about snow removal specifically. So, what I'll do is I'll beef that section up and add like the priority sections and work through it with Joe, and we should have something that I think works for everybody.
That's great. And this last storm, it was really kind of unusual because everything froze up
Oh, I know.
for like 2 weeks
Yeah,
afterwards. So usually it's not,
that bad.
as difficult as this one,
But if you see those areas, our guys go out and hit them with extra salt. They'll do that. I mean, they do that all the time. We got, I wouldn't say complaints, but we get, customer requests, I will say.
yeah,
And we go and obviously service our customers. So we get out there and do
perfect.
it. So,
Thank you so much.
no, of course.
I just have a question, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week after it had snowed, I think it snowed on a Wednesday morning or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I was downtown and some of the people that have storefronts on Main Street had shoveled off, and then others didn't, or that was in front of a site that no one's renting or anything like that. So it does not make for a really good, smooth traveling for anybody, especially if anybody with any kind of mobility issue.
Yep.
But just in general, it was pretty slick.
So
And didn't know what the town's policy is. I know the town says that people should be out there shoveling their sidewalks, and
Yep.
I know that I try to shovel my sidewalk, but to be truthful, is that I don't think there's many sidewalks in the town of Wakefield that are actually smooth without cracks in it. Where and you're shoveling along, and you jam your shoulder because the shovel gets stuck in the crack, and so I can certainly understand why people aren't shoveling sometimes their sidewalks, because it's just dangerous, to the
Yeah.
function of your body.
Unfortunately, yes.
Clear the sidewalks.
So that's two questions, I think. So first one, we do have a bylaw that requires folks to shovel. So that is a thing that the town has. As for the cracks, that's all part of the transition plan too. So we have sidewalks so all of our sidewalks in town have had an assessment completed. So that looked at a bunch of things. It looked at tripping hazards, cracks and things that you're talking about. So it identifies them where they are. And then I use that data to determine where I prioritize the repair funds. So in general, we really were not terrific about doing any sidewalk maintenance. And it's something that I've brought up a couple of times to some folks. So I'm looking for some additional funding at some point to offset some of that. We funded a lot of new sidewalk construction. That's been the thing since I've been here. That seems to be the big push. But we have a lot of stuff that we're not maintaining in general. So, I'd like to have ideally a sidewalk program where I'm funding sidewalks as their own individual projects. And then I'm also doing roads with the sidewalks as I pave the roads. So in general, if I'm paving a street, all of those sidewalks should have been replaced and or repaired so that they're smooth. And if not, there's a plan for us to come back to them. That's typically what's going on. But unfortunately, when I got the $10 million bond a few years ago, well, actually it's probably about 4 years ago now, for roads that included sidewalk repairs too. It's all supposed to be kind of dovetailed together. And, I've been picking away at it, but, I can't fix, unfortunately, 20 years of backlog in a few years. So it's going to be a process. But I mean, take a look through the priorities in the areas that I'm picking. I'd love a ton of feedback on that. If you think there's better areas to focus my energy on the repairs. But I mean, it's the same idea where we're doing like all these new curb ramps that we put in everywhere. It's all kind of the same program and process. So my folks are all looking at all of it. So we just only have so much funds, unfortunately.
Any other questions for Bill? Okay, thank you.
Short and painless. Short and painless. Thanks, folks. Well, good
Thank
seeing
you.
you
We
all.
appreciate you coming on.
And obviously, if you see anything or you have any issues, don't hesitate. My phone is always open, ready for a call. So
Thank
right.
you very much,
Thank-
Bill.
anytime.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
So the next item is acknowledging the retirement of Mary Mahone McCauley, Executive Director of the MOD. And Janice, you had taken that as an action?
Yes, she's retiring on her last day is the 28th of February, so we were not too late. And I sent a letter, thank you for providing the stationery for Paul, and that was really helpful. And I put just a thank you letter together and sent it on behalf of the commission.
Thank you. Really appreciate you taking the time to do
Yeah,
that.
thank you,
Yeah,
Jan.
she really had and Lorna, you really pointed it out the last meeting. She really made some very significant leadership priorities and under her. She was only 5 years in the position, so but it's been, I think, 35 years in public service. So she had a career. I don't know if she's leaving to go someplace else or if she's just retiring. To be determined.
Well, thank you.
I'm sure she probably will do something, maybe not, as an employee, but I'm sure she'll continue to give back in some way. And we got an email from Sherry Dalton, May 31st, a rededication event is planned for the Restored Soldiers and Sailors Monument. So if you were around that weekend. And we had discussed at our last meeting, potentially having Tom Mullen come and present the open town meeting law, but we found that he had already done that for another group, and there was a video, and Sherry Dalton sent it out to everyone, so hopefully you've all received it. I started to watch it. Yeah, it's very informative. And, maybe we take the time to look at it before our next meeting, and then if we want to have a discussion about that, it may be helpful so that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, because I think that the unfortunate part about it is just being able to see the video, not being able to
Ask
have him in
questions.
person, is that if you have any questions, they don't get answered.
Well, people that were on that call were answering questions, so I'm not through all of it, but it may be that, a lot of the questions get answered. Like one item he mentioned was his recommendation is do not form subcommittees for anything, identify a person to do whatever you need to do, and that person can then connect with whomever they need to connect with to get things done. But even one of us talking to another of us, and then that person talking to another one of us, if the message gets relayed to a quorum of us, then in effect it is considered a public meeting. So lots of things to be cautious about. But we did talk last time about potentially getting together at Inspire Cafe, and that was one thing that was asked and that he mentioned. We can get together as a group. We just can't talk about anything commission related. So, and that brings us to our next item, which is the last item. This could be a very quick meeting. The update on Inspire Cafe. Hopefully everybody has seen something in the item on your social media, on the news, that Inspire Cafe opened on Saturday, February 1st. And we didn't have the best weather, but it was certainly an awesome event. Regardless, very well attended by the public, the town, the state delegation had representatives there with citations. And they were pretty busy on Sunday when I went in there as well. And
Even
Lois
though
and
the weather wasn't great, it certainly did not dampen the staff's spirit
it did
at
not.
all.
They had a
A
great.
lot of smiling faces.
Oh, yeah.
And Lois and Dan, why don't you talk about your menu item in Inspire Cafe?
Very, what is it? Very, very.
Yes. A drink.
We had
named-
2 of them too. They were good.
They were delicious.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had that yet. So yes, we would, and Nico, I wanted to address to you after our last meeting, you know, you talked a little bit about having a gathering of some students to host a social event there, and I have talked to the Boys and Girls Club about that, and they were very excited to host an event like that. So we will get together and we'll chat about your thoughts and ideas of what that might look like.
I can actually update the youth council about that and see if once everything's more in place that it could be posted on their social media or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And please do get the word out. I know how there's, for you, the best way to find some of these things made, particularly in regard to Inspire, is they have their own, I don't know, well, you don't have to be on Facebook because they also have an Instagram account and all of that. So if you haven't been on, check it out and see, see what it's all about. Share it if you would, please, with your, with the high school students, because it's interesting that even though folks are right here in town, people don't hear about some of the things that are going on. Would love for the students to stop in and provide feedback, particularly on the menu, right? What are some of the items we have that you like? What are some of the items that you don't see that you might like to see if you wanted to stop in, after school and have a snack or sit there and do your homework or whatever? We definitely would like some feedback.
So I was thinking that we could that we could bring it up in announcements on the high school, like PA, but I don't know if we actually are allowed to. We could probably put up posters though.
Well, what I can do is, I'm trying to think, the special ed director, maybe I reach out to her directly with.
I can talk to Miss Ebert happily.
Is that who it is? Is that who?
Mary Beth Ebert.
Okay, I don't even know who's who anymore at the high school. It's been a while since I've had anybody up there. Yes, please do. If she needs something specific from us, please reach out. We'll be happy to send her.
All right, I can talk to her about the poem thing sometime. Like I can always update her or something.
Okay. She may have some good input and some direction as well, as to how she thinks it might look. So yes, please do that, and let's start the dialogue on that so it doesn't slip through the cracks.
Yes.
I had a lot of people that were impressed by the amount of healthy foods they had. And of course, the coffee is by, I guess, a local coffee company from the farmer's market here in Wakefield.
Dean's Beans, right? He is from Massachusetts. He's a local roaster, and he's pretty much at the farmer's market every weekend when it's open. Yeah, and we're really looking for input from the public. What do you like? What do you think can be tweaked? What would you like to see that's not there? A lot of thought went into the menu, A, to have healthy choices, and B, menu items that that the staff is going to be able to prepare, right? Help prepare. Rebecca Roel is the cafe manager, and she's really very creative, and those menus, a lot of that is all her. Making sure that the smoothies are, not a bunch of sugar and syrup, but fruit, and she's trying to do as much in-house as she can. She's making granola in-house. We have a little charcuterie, hummus, and
Oh, you could have told me that. Now I'm definitely going. I love just charcuterie stuff.
yep, it's all prepared and you'll see it in the fridge.
Do they have lattes or what?
They don't have a cappuccino machine.
Ah,
So we're limited a little bit there, but yeah, I mean, I think she's getting there, right? Like she made me a chai latte one day. I think if you ask her, I just think
Busy
this
days.
weekend was just crazy, right? And she was just trying to stick to the basics because there were just so many people. But she is very creative, and if you ask for something specific, she'll be able to help the staff pull that together. But yeah, go in, Nico. Just be curious what you think, what you see that's interesting to you, and
My
Marie-
8-year-old grandson gave it a double thumbs up on the
Did-
smoothie.
oh, I was
Nice.
just going to say, what did he have? He had a smoothie, huh?
Of course.
Mhm.
I've had a lot. I mean, I've been in there and had the breakfast sandwich. I've had when I was in there for the opening, I had the caprese sandwich. It was delicious. I've had the seasoned grilled chicken on ciabatta. Very good. The soup, had a carrot and butternut squash soup. So she'll do some seasonal soups. Yeah, very good. So really everything I've had has been really very good. And
great.
that's the focus, trying to make sure that it's quality.
Marie, is the Voc school, the folks that do food service prep at the Voc school or a restaurant, hope to go into the restaurant business, are they at all going to be potentially involved?
She has hired a student from the Vogue who
Nice.
is sort of like the sous chef, right? She does a lot of the food prep. It's a young lady. I'm not sure how that's working. It must be on her weeks that, not her class weeks, obviously, her weeks that she's doing the job piece of
I think
her
she has it there
program.
as an intern.
She's working there as an intern. She definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Because I sort of met her when I was in and out of there a couple of weeks ago, and she was kind of introduced as the intern from the tech.
And she was all hands on deck Saturday, so I saw her there, and she was, making drinks and doing whatever needed to be done because
Yeah, she's really sweet.
yeah, and everybody did a great job. They really, yeah, they had a handful of weeks of training. I mean, obviously they don't know it all, but yeah,
They'll
they
get
held
there.
their own. They held their own, and it was an awesome day. A
Oh,
lot of good press. I'm sorry, I couldn't
Oh,
hear. Oh,
I was
sorry.
gonna say I was definitely gonna try to go this weekend with one of my friends.
That's right. So right now they close on Monday, Tuesday, but they'll be back open on Wednesday. So yeah, definitely pop down if you can.
Yeah, Wednesday through Sunday.
Yep.
Is it 7:30 to 4?
Yes, something like
Something like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Don't forget, they also have some logoed items there that you could buy, shirts and cups and
Plenty of merch, yes. And Ed Dombrowski was quite the sales person on Sunday as people were freezing outside waiting to get in the door. He had the knit caps in his hands and he was out in that line selling them
Selling them
all.
afterwards.
Yeah, he was funny. We
Yeah.
appreciated that.
The other thing too I want to mention is because I think that I had this conversation with Rebecca is that a lot of the merchandise too, such as like the mugs, not not so much the coffee mug, but the travel mug. And the things that are in the store that are made from biodegradable material. So she's very ecologically, you know,
Conscious, yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, and the space is beautiful. It was
yeah.
all designed by Icon Architecture. Janice Mamayek is an architect for them. She's also the parent of one of the staff, and she and the engineers she works with, and even the contractor that the Boys and Girls Club hired all did a beautiful job.
Even the coffee mugs were made so that they were kind of larger on the bottom. And if, an elderly person might tip it over, it's very hard to tip it over.
Right.
I still would probably find a way to do it.
No, don't do that.
No, I like talk a lot with my hands, and I've just been known to just hit things
So you need the one with
by
the
accident,
cover.
so it will probably happen.
Yeah, need the one with the cover.
Yep.
So does anybody have anything else? I think we kind of zipped through.
Certainly did.
I just want to thank everybody that's been helping me out a little bit behind the scenes. I put an email out to the commission announcing that I'd gone back to school to pursue a degree in development of disabilities, and part of that is a internship requirement. And at least half the folks here have given me helpful leads, whether by email or conversations. I spoke to Paul a couple of days ago, and everybody's been super helpful. And I'm speaking to Communitas on February 10th to see if there's an opportunity there for me to fulfill some of the internship requirements I got. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you all.
I commend you, Paul, for doing that. I mean,
Thanks.
yeah, I really appreciate you for, stepping away from a career that to support folks like my son. We really need people like
Yeah.
you.
We'll see where it goes. It's going to be not a short process, but one that I'm happy to start now to give me options, at least for doing some of the stuff that I am here for. That's why I joined the Commission on Disability. So I appreciate everybody's help. Thanks.
Well, we'll continue to update you on any kind of leads that we hear about.
Great.
Certainly the need is there for sure.
We'll be happy to go to work, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, if we don't have anything else, our next meeting is March 3rd. Be thinking of, is it March 3rd? Maybe I'm looking at February 3rd and thinking, yes, it is March 3rd. Be thinking of any other agenda items for next month.
Well, I'm back doing the 4th of July parade again, so I did talk to them at Inspire to possibly have a float 4th of July parade.
We'll make that happen. We'll be able to figure that out. I mean, a float doesn't, it can be a truck, right? It doesn't, a pickup truck, it doesn't have to be a, I'm
Right.
sorry, what was that?
Be anything you want it to be.
Yeah, that's what I said. We'll just have to get creative. I'm sure we can figure it out. The staff would certainly be thrilled. Although we'll have to be open probably that day, so we'll have to,
Surprisingly, there's not too many places open on.
right,
Yeah.
so
Right.
our doors should probably be open, so we'll have to figure out how that, we'll have to stagger the staff on the float so that they're covering shifts as well.
Lots of iced coffee that day.
Slush, we have
Yes.
our
Oh, yeah,
whole, we have a big section of that shop that's filled with the Richie slush cart in there. So yes, we'll be able to sell slush, probably on the sidewalk if we want to.
You gotta open up a walk-through window now, so like honeydew up the head of the lake there with that.
Yeah, would have to knock a wall out. That brick would have to go, so probably not in this location anyway, but always on the go. We can do something on the go.
Congratulations for really making that happen. It's just something to be very proud of for the town in so many ways. And I'm just very excited for everybody.
Well, Janice, it takes a village. It was, the Boys and Girls Club have had a lot to do with this, obviously, as well. I mean, we brought the idea forth, but they really executed. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Partnership is great.
I've been so impressed with all of the publicity that I've seen on, I've sent a few of the things that I've seen.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful. Like we were talking about, such an asset for the whole town.
It really, we're, very appreciative of the press and everybody who came out. But you would be surprised, even, I won't mention the business, but my husband was in one of the businesses downtown, and he commented on Inspire, and they had no idea what he was talking about. And so, if you feel like we're missing something, right? If you're not everybody is on social media, not everybody gets the item, right? Maybe you don't watch the news. So what is it we do to get the words out? We may just have to truly start knocking on doors and,
Flyers on light poles.
Mhm.
what was
That is
that, buddy? But
Just putting flyers around.
yeah, flyers.
And maybe visit the businesses downtown. And
Yes.
I noticed that there's a new pizza sub place, and I was in one of the Wakefield businesses today, and their menu was in there, and I also got it in the mail today, which made me think, oh, I bet they went around to all the downtown businesses and handed out their menu. So visit all the businesses and let us know if you need some help.
Yes, thank you. I will do that. And that was one of a suggestion that we had, not just having a couple of the staff going in and, folks sitting at the nail salon. Would anybody like a coffee? That's a quick, right? We can take orders and bring it up to you, kind of
That's
thing. We
an
just
excellent idea.
need the staff to be able to do that.
Well, they got some ways you can buy coffee once a month or once a year.
Mm.
You can, right,
Subscription
it's a
plans.
monthly subscription, and then you would get a free coffee, hot, cold coffee daily.
Plus, when you're buying a cup of coffee there at the Inspire, it's local. It isn't like Honeydew or Dunkin' Donuts or one of these other big.
Not a franchise, right?
Yep.
Exactly. Right, and you're employing individuals that otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity for employment, and they're really happy and grateful to be there. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do a lot of professional development as well.
And it's great to have one of the vacant buildings occupied, and with a hopefully thriving business that will last for many decades to come.
Yeah, and we have as I mentioned, Rebecca, she's been awesome as the cafe manager. We have a young lady with occupational therapy experience. So she's doing the professional development. She's breaking down the tasks. She has identified adaptive equipment. That's really a component that most businesses do not have, and that just makes such a difference.
And where we live right behind it, I noticed that Rebecca was in there the night before.
Oh,
For
yeah.
18 hours she was there.
Yeah, the staff has spent a lot of time over the past week just prepping, right? Because they weren't sure what Saturday was going to bring, and they wanted to be prepared. It was all hands on deck. We were cleaning. Yeah, this winter weather does not keep floors very clean.
We try not to make any mess.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. They're happy to see you. I know you folks can just roll out of bed and pop in.
Well, we might.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a meeting over there Wednesday. I got a couple of people. And I said, where can we meet? I said, how about the Inspire Cafe?
Yep.
So sure we're gonna meet.
Meet at the community table that's there. Yes,
Only
indeed.
people, but
I'm going too.
I
hopefully,
love the idea of the community table. It's
But
been closed for many years, but the Breads and Bits of Ireland that used to be downtown Melrose
I have Melrose
had a
there.
community table. So if you were, a person by yourself, you could just go sit at that table and there'd be other people there
Have
and
to
you
meet
could
other people.
strike up a conversation or not strike up a conversation. It's very welcoming to have that.
And we have an awesome sign that lights up that you can do your Instagram moment in front of.
do they, by the way, matter of fact, I noticed that today. Do they have like an open sign or something in the front window? Because you're looking in there, it's kind of dark looking through the windows, but if they had something that said open,
Oh, do they have a
do.
sign that says open? No, I've not seen that. So you're right. How do people know whether they're open
it's
or
like
not?
Well, if you
$99
went in there
special,
today, I
Home
could
Depot.
understand it's why it's kind of dark because it's not open.
Right.
but just the
Um,
window itself, so when you're driving, you know it's open.
Yeah,
Or not. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. I'll mention that. We have a meeting with the Boys and Girls Club.
Digital with a coffee cup that looks like it's steaming.
That used to be the logo, if you recall, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
kind of changed it, but yeah, something so that when people are driving by, they know whether it's open or not.
yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to get it open 7 days. It's just, yeah, it's just a lot. It's, it's a lot for the
Lot of
staff that are,
Close those on Mondays.
a lot of places, right, so it would be nice if Inspire could be open to get that, get that business, but they'll work it out. Just, it's only been a couple of days, so we'll get there. But if you do go in, please critique, would be, they want to be able to serve the public and serve what the public is interested in. So we don't know that unless we get feedback.
We'll be there. Don't you worry.
I know you will be.
Well, they got some nice little couches in there too that you can
Yeah.
sit down on, and
Couple of,
window
yeah,
in the front window.
Yeah,
yeah, Janice did an awesome job and put a lot of thought in it when she designed the space to try to maximize it, to the best. I think it's only about 1,000 square feet, so to try to maximize it the best she could.
Yeah, I was surprised how much room, because we
Yeah.
remember the pizza store when it was there.
oh,
It
yeah,
was kind of a wedge shape in the back there.
yeah.
Well, because I think all the ovens and everything they had in the back just took up a lot of space, and they had a drop ceiling. So she knew right away going in there that there was something above that. And the minute she pulled it up and saw the tin ceiling, right, she said, yeah, we're saving that. And I think that gave us like 3 feet. So it gives the illusion of being more spacious when the ceiling is high. Well, I'll look forward to bumping into you all there at some point or another. And otherwise, I'll see you next month, March 3rd. And yeah, please send along any agenda items that you can think of.
Okay,
Please
right.
do. You don't have to wait for my monthly letter asking for them, so send them
That is
along.
a good reminder, though, Laura.
By the way, has everybody sent in their form there if they're gonna be reappointed, or?
you did yours today, Dan.
Mine was last year.
Okay.
Sent mine in.
There you go. Thank you. Look forward to having you all continue on. Okay, so it's 7:46 p.m. and I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Can I have someone
Motion,
Second it.
motion to adjourn, please?
Yes,
we have to have a head count, I think,
Nico, thank you
Motion to
for being in
adjourn.
attendance again.
It is truly no problem. I'm
It's-
trying to keep everyone in the loop and myself.
There you
Great.
go. We
We
appreciate it.
really appreciate your being here.
It's truly no problem. Thank you.
okay. Thank
we
you.
have to have a name to adjourn.
Yes, can I have somebody, a motion to adjourn? Was that
Adjourn.
Dan? And Lois will second?
Yes.
Okay, well,
Adjourn.
thank you all. Good night.
everybody.
See you soon.
Good night.
Folks, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.